Good morning to one and all present here for the day 5 of online faculty development program on insight and trends in data analytics. For the past 4 days, all the participants present in this FDP will have a healthy deep dive into data analytics. When everyone knows to learn a newer tool, then we want to look back to the existing one also. One among the popular tool what we were using is that everyone knows an Excel, but Excel is also one of an good tool which most of the industries they are using till now. And coming back to the today's session, today for the day 5 speaker is Ms.Sangeetha Rajan, data analyst, BCC Financial Service USC. She has completed her BTech from JPR Engineering College, affiliated to Anna University. She has worked as an intern at the Serac HSBC credit card cybersecurity system. She is a software engineer at Standard Chartered Bank, Chennai. She worked on the bank CRM and development of EBBS software on Java and moved to US BCC Financial Service. Her area of interest includes big data, exploratory data analysis, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and business intelligence. And now I would like to hand over these sessions to Sangeetha Rajan, and it's over to Sangeetha Rajan.
Thank you, sir. Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Can you see my screen, sir?
Yeah, it's loading. Just a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. So, good morning to one and all present here. First of all, I would like to thank Prakash, sir, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, sir. And then my friend Sonia, who referred me to this. So to give a brief, sir has already given me an introduction, but to give another introduction about myself, my name is Sangeetha, and I finished in my BTech in JPR Engineering College. And then I worked as an intern with HSBC, it's the Hong Kong Shanghai Banking Corporation. I was working as a cybersecurity on the credit card system, wherein we look into the fraudulent cases and how fraud transactions happen and how we can use cryptographic techniques and cyber codes into it. And then I moved on to Standard Chartered Bank as an entry-level software engineer, wherein I was learning into their CRM. And then we were developing another software called the EBBS software, which again handle a massive amount of customer information. We used Java as a basic onto the EBBS software. So when I was working there for a year, and then I moved here to the United States. And then again, I started working as a data analyst. That was the biggest break. And yeah, with the BCC Financial Management System, that's my company. When I say financial, is like we are basically a collections agency, wherein we deal with hospitals here, all the major hospitals in the United States. So when I say collections, unlike in India, when you go into the hospital, it's not like you just pay the bill and walk out of the hospital. It doesn't work here that way. So it's already a massive amount you have to pay, and not everybody can afford to pay the money. So what normally we do is we pay in the EMI basis. So and when we do in the EMI basis, again, not all the patients are able to pay the amount on month basis. So it's a huge amount of work for the hospitals to individually call the patients and collect the amount. So that's where the collections industry is like, as in us, we come into the picture. So what work we do is like the executives, what they do is like they call up the people, the patients, and make sure they pay the money, or if any payment arrangement plan can be made. But I and my team, we work on the back end of into the IT sector, wherein I work as a data analyst. So I'm going to the topics discussed today. I want to. I thank you so much for every one of you participating, and I want to make sure that I make this 1 hour of your most valuable time. So what topics are we going to discuss here would be what is data analytics, understanding what is data analytics, process involved in data analytics, why data analytics matter, types of data analytics, who's using data analytics and the tools used by them. To give a brief introduction about a data analyst, and if any of y'all are interested in making a career as a data analyst, from today for next 25 years, the market is really very high and the production is high, and you would get a better pay if at all you choose to be a data analyst, because today's industry, everybody is dealing with data and big data. So of course, every single company who deals with data, they need a data analyst. So what are the roles of a data analyst, which comprises of what I do? The first thing is like you collect, process, and then you give the approximate result what the client requires from you. And then going into the language, this is the broad mindset everybody has. Like if you want to become a data analyst, you're supposed to know R and Python. Of course, it's going to be a boon if you know R and Python, but the basic SQL, like how you learn in the colleges, the basic DBMS queries, SQL is the greatest boon when when you want to step into as a data analyst. Of course, HTML, we've been learning HTML from school, but I would say HTML5 is also more helpful these days. And of course, Excel. People think that Excel is not used widely, but no. Me personally, we use Microsoft Excel in data cleaning process. And then another mindset of what if you want to become a data analyst would be you should have a vast problem solving mindset to it. Because when a client gives you a piece of data, it is mostly unstructured. And then it's up to you to figure out a solution and give what the client wants and what your company needs. So of course, your problem solving skills is of course mostly important here. And then the skills and talents, of course, you should know how to use the Microsoft Excel, database systems, communication and visualization, math, statistics, and machine learning. So, okay, can you all hear me?
Yeah, you can proceed, Sangeetha.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so I want to give you a brief introduction about what is data analytics. So what is data analytics? It is the science of analyzing raw data in order to make conclusions about that information. It is very simple, like as in when I read this paragraph, but it's a whole huge, vast topic, which I'm going to explain. So understanding what is data analytics is. So data analytics is comprised of quantitative and qualitative data. So what is qualitative data? It describes the qualities or the characteristics. It is collected using questionnaires, interviews, or observations, and frequently appears in narrative form. Qualitative data can be observed and recorded. This type of data is non-numeric in nature. Okay. I would like to give an example so that everybody would have a clear picture of what is qualitative data. So when I say qualitative data, say, for example, if a teacher is asking a student to read a paragraph, and again, it's totally a dictation, you're going to read out a paragraph, and the teacher is supposed to give a feedback for the child on that. So what now the teacher could take it into consideration would be how the girl pronounces the words, the pronunciation, the fluency, the clarity of word, the throw of words. So based on this, again, you can make a data out of it. And again, it is, again, theory. You don't have numbers involved in it. So some of the examples would be text and documents, audio and video recordings, images and symbols, interview transcripts and focus groups, observation and notes. Then we have the quantitative data. And again, the name suggests it's quantity, how much and how many. So the numbers is included in here. To give an example, say this gallon of jar contains 8 gallons of water. John is 6 feet tall. 98% of the survey was taken yesterday. Again, they are very specific about the numbers. So the examples would be tests and experiments, surveys, market research, and metrics. So any questions till now? Okay. Okay. Next, I come into the process involved in data analytics. This is what is my job role and what I do. So I'm going to explain to you what I am doing in a day-to-day basis here today. So process involved is like define why you need data analytics, begin collecting data from sources, clean the unnecessary data, begin analyzing the data, interpret results and apply them. So this is my day-to-day role I do every day here. Again, so the process involved in data analytics would be the first step is to determine the data requirements. So when I say determine the data requirements, as an entry-level data analyst, when I dropped into this company, I was allowed to attend into the meetings with the clients. So, and then it took me a month or so to understand what the industry is. So when I say the industry is totally about the healthcare, insurance, the adjustment, the payments, the dispute, what the patient wants to solve, all this has been included. So I have to determine from where, what data they need and how can I group the data and how I can present the data. So all this I can collect only by communicating with my company and with the clients. So I attend meetings and then I get to know what they need and I make a note of it. And the second process comes why, excuse me, and then why I need. Next step, it contains like where I'm collecting the data from. So this is an important step. So for me, the most easiest process was I have to collect data. Either the client will give us the file, or I go into my own company's database and then I collect the file. For if I'm doing a research, then I have to go into the online sources for me to collect data and proceed. But for me, the most easiest part was that the client will always give us the file. So that was the easiest part for me. And then once the data is collected, it has to be cleansed. So when I say cleansed, when I receive a file, it's normally more than 35,000 to 40,000 amount of data present in a single Excel sheet. So for me, in order to do a report, I don't need all the 35,000 data to be proceeded. So what I do is I clean the data and when I meet the clients and make phone calls with the other IT people or with the clients, they tell me what they exactly want in the report. So I don't have to go through all the 35,000 pieces of information in the Excel sheet. So I just take what is relevant for me and I cleanse it and then I analyze the data and then I give the final output. But the most important part here is that when I receive the original file from my client, I always keep that as a backup in my company's database, or I keep it in my computer for further analysis and research. Because sometimes the clients would come back to you maybe after a year or so, and they would be very specific about the date, and then they tell us, okay, fine, give me this piece of information. So that's why it is always a better idea to keep the original file on your company's database or on your computer. So that's how I clean the data using the frequent Excel. The tool I use to clean data is Excel. Of course, there are other tools available, but suddenly when you use your computer and when you go, it's Microsoft Excel is what pops into your head. So that's what it is. And then comes the analysis. Then I analyze what is important for my report, for me in order to make the bar graph or chart, pie charts and all that. So I analyze the data and then that's where I start using my BI tools to do the report generation. So this is basically the step involved, process involved in data analysis. So when you become a data analyst, you become a boon and an asset to your company because of your problem solving skills. So most of the client, when they give you the data, it is always I would say 70 to 80%, it is always structured data. So when I say structured data, it's already in place from the header file to the tabs and to the full stop. Everything has been completely ready. Semi-structured is like you will be able to differentiate. But some of the clients, or when I do my research or when I go to my online sources, when I get unstructured data is where you need to put your complete hard work and expertise into it, wherein you're supposed to, analyze unstructured data. So you need to spend most amount of time, like say 80 or 90% of your time to clear the unstructured data, understand it, and then cleanse it and then analyze it. So if you are choosing to be a data analyst, your expertise will make you understand, okay, fine, this is unstructured data and this is what I can grab information from, and then you proceed. Sorry. So when I say the common cleaning tool I use is MS Excel. So why do I use that is spelling check, removing the duplicates, finding and replacing the text, changing the case of the text, removing spaces, fixing dates and times, merging columns, and reconciling table data by matching and joining. This is most of the work I do when I receive the data. So what I normally say is like, do not underestimate the power of Microsoft Excel. It's a tool that comes in really handy. And why? Okay, now I want to say why data analytics matter. So data analytics is important because it helps the business optimize their performance. Implementing it into their business model means companies can help reduce cost by identifying more efficient way of doing business and by storing a large amount of data. So uh, why I am an asset to the company, I say, is that because of the reports my team and I generate, when my company's CEO wants to look into the data, the bar graph and the chart is already available for them so that they are able to predict, okay, fine, this is where my company is going and this is the profit I'm making. So it gives them a clear picture. They don't have to go through what we are going through with the data and what we are doing with data. All they need is just an output, and our job is to produce the output. So data analytics is what all the companies today. There is not one company, even small scale industries in the United States, they use data analytics. So the major important giant companies that use data analytics and BI tools would be Amazon, Starbucks, Lowe's is one of the home improvement, second largest home improvement company in the United States. So they use data analytics too. The types of data analytics. So when I say types of data analytics, descriptive analysis. So what is descriptive analysis? It describes what has happened over a given period of time. So when I say this, I would like to give an example here. When you use YouTube videos, nowadays people have their own YouTube channel and all that. So when they have that, when somebody puts a YouTube video in that, and then probably tomorrow, if they want to come and see, okay, have the views gone up? What, they can predict on something, they are able to describe something. Okay, fine. The views has gone up because I've put something really useful. So it's able to describe something. That's descriptive analysis. Next comes the diagnostic analysis. It's focused on why something more has happened. So say, for example, you put a YouTube video and you expect something else to come, but then that was not the desired result. So this diagnostic analysis, it makes you tell, okay, fine, why something caused it, That's this diagnostic analysis. Next is predictive analysis. Predictive analysis is like what is going to happen in the near future. So to give a real-time example for us is now the hurricane that's coming up, the Laura and Marco hurricane that's coming up here, that's developed in the Atlantic Sea. So like as everybody knows, you have the European model and then you have the US model. So with data analytics and BI tools, the weather channel is being able to describe and then they are able to predict, okay, fine, the hurricane may take a turn here and then it may merge into Florida. So they are able to predict something and give us, and that's what predictive analysis is. Then is the prescriptive analysis. Why a course of action? Suggest why a course of action. So predictive analysis could be used in evacuate whether a local fire department should require residents to evacuate a particular area when a wildfire is burning nearby. So this mostly happens here in California. It's just happens. It's not like once in blue moon. It happens very frequently in the northern sides of California. So when there's a fire burning in there, uh, the fire department is able to give an alert in the mobile phone where you call the Amber Alert on your phone.
Excuse
You
me,
get a
Miss
message on.
Sangeetha.
Hello?
Can you please make your PPT screen? Hello, Ms. Sangeetha. Can you
Yes,
please
ma'am.
make your PPT screen full? Yeah,
You're
Ms.
not
I'm
able.
Sangeetha,
not
you
able
can
to
press
read.
Shift F5.
1 second, sir. What the full
Shift
screen?
F5.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Now is it
So,
clear, ma'am?
yes. Yeah, thank you,
Thank you,
thank you.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is prescriptive analysis. So as I said, the wildfire is the biggest example that happens here in the northern states of California. So you get an Amber Alert on your phone from the fire department or the 911, and then they tell you, okay, fine, you're supposed to move because the fire or the smoke is about to reach your place probably another an hour or so. That's where prescriptive analysis takes place. Next comes who's using data analytics. So the first industry would be travel, wherein again data is involved. You're planning a trip, you go out, you use your passport number, your name, your age. Again, data is involved in there. Second would be marketing. Third would be the healthcare, wherein we use that. Fourth is the social media, sales, automation, and then the credit card and insurance. So automation part, again, I want to give you a brief example on that. Um, so the tools our data analysts use, that is what the, so there are a lot of other tools that our data analysts use, but the most common one is the business intelligence tool, BI tools. BI and artificial intelligence are taking up the industry in the near future. So talking about what is business intelligence, the term business intelligence refers to technologies, applications, and practices for the collection, integration, analysis, and presentation of a business information. The purpose of business intelligence is to support better business decision making. So, I would like to give an example of what business intelligence is. Say, for example, 20 years ago, when you go into a supermarket and then you want to buy something, say you want to buy milks and eggs and bananas. When you walk into a supermarket, the first and foremost thing what you do is like you ask the employee where you can find these items. But today, when you walk into any supermarket, you have them separated into aisles, saying the column one is of the produce, column two is of milk, column three is again meats. So it's all been arranged and it helps you navigate. So you just have to walk into the shop and then it helps you navigate to get the product what you want. So that's the simplest example of business intelligence. Another example, what I would say is like, say you work in a company and then you want an information about the production, the sales, and then the hours, the HR, the payroll, and everything. So you have to make a report out of it. So what you normally do is like you go have to contact three different people in your company in order to get your output. But with business intelligence, what you do is all the data has been already stored on your company's database. With this BI tools, it's going to give you all the messy information from your company's database is arranged, and whatever information you require, you are going to get it in a tiny piece of information. So that's what business intelligence is all about. So business intelligence, it makes it easy to access and share information, helps identify waste in the system, reduces the risk, improves the process of decision making, enables real-time analysis with quick navigation, and helps your business grow. That's what it's all about, business intelligence. So what are the business intelligence tools? So the business intelligence tools are types of application software that collects amounts of unstructured data from internal and external systems, including books, journals, documents, health records, images, files, email, video, and other business resources. So it's again a software tool. So the BI tools, like as I said, whatever large, massive amount of data you guys have is going to give you in a simple format. That's what is, sorry, that's what BI tools are. So the most popular BI tool I use today is SAP Crystal Report, SAP Business Object. SAP Business Object is the automation tool, and then the Oracle BI Publisher and the Cognos. Before going into Crystal Reports, I want to give you a brief introduction about what is Oracle BI Publisher. So I'm just starting to learn Oracle BI Publisher, but I just want you guys to know so that in future use you could recommend it to somebody, and then you guys can also use it. So what is Oracle BI Publisher? So the Oracle, it's mostly used as an ERP application. ERP is Enterprise Resource Planning, which Oracle PeopleSoft uses it. I'm still learning that process. So it's again a report generation tool, like how SAP Crystal Reports uses. It's again a business report generating tool, which uses Microsoft Word has a basic template. With Crystal Reports, you don't have the Microsoft Word has a template, but here the basic like Acrobat Reader, PDF, and Microsoft, the RTF format is how the template is. So you need to download it, you have the access to it, and then you create what feel like how you go into tables, you get information, you add fields into it, and then you start building your report. That's what is all about BI Publisher. So now I'm going to go into Crystal Reports, excuse me. So what is Crystal Reports? So before going into Crystal Reports, I would like to tell about what the tools I use. So we use IBM iAccess Client Solutions to create tables so that when you need database, of course, you need to create tables and rows and schemas and everything. The tool which we use is IBM iAccess Client Solution. And then the other internal database we use is AS400. So the AS400 again uses DB2 as the basis. So the AS400 is a common tool used in the collections industry today. I would really like to show you a demo out of it, but I'm not privileged to show you my company's data. So I'm sorry about that. So sorry, now going into what is a Crystal Report. So SAP Crystal Reports is a business intelligence tool that helps in generating reports from SAP as well as non-SAP data resources. Knowledge of this tool is a plus for managers and business leaders who can generate quality level reports which will help them in making better strategic decisions. So Crystal Reports, so the beauty of Crystal Reports is that it connects to a SAP database, and it actually connects even to the ODBC database. So as you all know, what is ODBC? It is an open source database connectivity. It is an interface by Microsoft that allows applications to access data and database management system using SQL. So normally when you buy a PC or a laptop, and if it is a Windows base, they have their own drivers, and ODBC is also inbuilt with 32 and 64-bit. So it comes inbuilt with any laptop or computers you buy. At the same time, like when I say Oracle and Apple and all that, they have their own ODBC drivers installed, which is internally generated for them. But since I guess all of us prefer using a Windows laptop, this ODBC comes in inbuilt with the ODBC drivers. So the beauty of Crystal Reports is that once the Crystal Report is installed into your computer, it connects to the ODBC drivers automatically. The Crystal server and the ODBC server, it connects automatically, and then you can start pulling in information and data. The other beauty of Crystal Reports is that you can even use a flat file to get the data out of it. So I'm going to show you an example out of it. I wanted to show you a real time, but I'm not able to access my office system. I'm sorry about that. I have screenshots, but I'm going to explain all that to you. So when I mentioned the term flat file, the data has been already positioned. Say, if I'm using Excel as an example. So column A would be the patient's first name and last name. Column B would be the patient's date of birth. C would be the age. D would be the address. So it's been already positioned. So I don't have too much work to be done when it comes to a flat file. So what Crystal reports, um, what Crystal reports is normally it has its two phases. First phase would be the design phase, and second phase would be the server phase. So the design phase is where you design the report and then you add information, and it's up to you what data can be added and who can be viewed and what information they can be viewed. Say, for example, you are adding all unnecessary information also into it, but you have the option for hide, wherein you can hide that particular piece of information so that the other person doesn't see. So that's the beauty of Crystal reports. You design your own reports, and then next phase comes the server phase. The server phase is where you save the report and then it goes into the automation process. Again, I use a SAP tool, which is the business objects tool. That's the automation tool I use. So when you install Crystal reports, this is how the home page of a Crystal report looks like. Can everybody see it? Hello? Okay, so this is how the Crystal report looks like, the home page looks like. This is how a pipe delimited file looks like. Are you able to see my screen, ma'am? Prakash, sir?
It's visible.
It's visible? Okay, fine.
Yeah, everyone you can ping Sangeetha Rajan. It will be two things. Presentation view, you just ping it so that you can able to visualize.
So this is...
Yeah, you can proceed, Sangeetha.
Thank you, sir. So this is how a flat pipe delimited file looks like. So I'm using Notepad++ as a tool which I've typed the data manually. I wish you see these windows open. These are all my company's database, and I'm not authorized to show you. So I've created a simple data table wherein you are able to view it. So I've created a job ID, name, age, and address. So the character I've used as a separator is a pipe delimited format. So I've created this, and I can't use this Notepad++ directly into a Crystal report. So what I do is I've copied all the contents from here into the Microsoft Excel. That's the second page. So I copy and I paste the item in Microsoft Excel. So in the sheet 1, I have the job ID, name, age, and address. And next, what I do is I have to, my intention is to, it looks messy, you see this pipeline files here and I can't directly add it to the report. So in order to remove the pipeline, I'm using Microsoft Excel as a tool. So once I copy, I open the data tab here on the top. And once you see the data tab, you should see the text to columns page here, another tab called text to columns. So when you see this text to columns, this dialog box opens. So you see two options, delimited and fixed width. So I'm clicking the option called delimited. Before proceeding, you click on column A, wherein all the data is comprised in there. So you click column A, and then you go to data, and then you go to text to columns, and then you click delimited, and then you click next. Sorry. So, and then when you click next, you have another dialog box open here. You see step 2 of 3. So you have another dialog box open here, and then you see tab, semicolon, comma, space, other. So what I do is, I'm just showing you how it looks like. And then the next tab page, when you go in, you uncheck the tab mark there. And then when you see the others here, you check in there. And then whichever character you are using has a separator as a delimiter. I put the pipeline delimiter there. If you are using a comma generated CSV format, you can use comma also in there. So when I put the pipeline field character there. So you see these columns you have a line of separation. Initially, you don't have that separation here. So when I click other and I put the pipeline here, you have the separation here, and then you click next, and then you click general here. When I say general here, my data consists of numbers and it has even characters in there. I have alphabets also in there. So I have the general format here, and then I click general here, and then I click finish. And this is how the data looks like without the pipeline. And then you align it, center, right, and left. This is how the data looks like. And then once I have the data in this format, I save this file to my desktop. So and then I save my file to desktop. So now I want to show you how I create the report with SAP Crystal reports. So as you all remember, I showed you the home screen, how a SAP Crystal report looks like. And then you go into File, New, and then you go to Standard Report. When you click Standard Report, this is the data wizard part, the creation wizard, how it looks like. The stuff you see on the top is my company's data. And then you see an option called here, Create New Connection. That is where you are going to either connect it to an Excel or a where I want to connect it to a Excel or a ODBC or OLAP. So when I click create new connection, you have a list of series open here: Access, Excel, ADO.NET, Database, Java Bean, and you have all set of datas here. So what I'm using is Excel here. So I click Excel, and then I have this window open here. So when I have the window open here, I have to answer these two: database type and database name. So when I say database type, I want to tell what version I'm going to use. Then I haven't clicked finish in here. I'm going to show you how it next looks like. And then the database type will be Excel 5.0. Normally I use Excel 8.0 and 5.0, but today I've selected using 5.0. And that will be the database type. And then comes the database name. Database name is the file name and the location where you have already stored in the Excel file. Once you put the database name and database type, you click finish. And then you have this creation wizard again here. So when you see this, all the sheets have been, so this is the CU, this is the location name. And then you have sheet 1, sheet 2, and sheet 3. So I'm going to click sheet 1. Sheet 1 is where my data is there. So I click sheet 1. The arrows you see here, the small light blue highlighted arrow here, this is where if you need something, you want to add this, and if you want to remove any of the tables here, you use this arrow here. So normally we use the data tables, which from my company's database, but here I'm showing you as an example, I'm using a flat file. So I've added sheet 1 here. And then these are my fields. It would be job ID, name, age, and address. These are the fields here. And then again, I'm going to add what and all information fields I need to be in my report. I'm going to add all of them. So that will be the job ID. Here the sheet 1, it resembles the table name and then the field, like how you write a SQL query, select table, and then you have the table name. That's almost the same. So that's what I've added here. Sheet 1, the ID, name, and age, and then grouping. So when I talk about grouping here, normally when I do my report, I group patient information with regards to the account number. So here, when a patient gets admitted in the hospital, they are being given an account number in order for the billing information. So I can group according to the customer's account number, or I can use a case ID or the date and everything. That's what grouping is all about. But here, we don't have to group anything. Next is the record selection. Record selection, what I use is like you need to have something about the company's, the client's information. So I use a client number or the company name and all that I have to use, and then I add it here. So once I add all this and I click finish, the report is ready. So this is how the report looks like with the Crystal report. And then this is the design phase. As I said, this is the design phase and the server phase. This is the design phase. So design phase, like you can, now it looks so scrambled data, wherein you can move them to the right, left, and then you can align it. So what I do here is I've hidden these two here. So you see the report header and the page footer. I normally hide it because the clients, what they require from us, they always prefer the data to be given in an Excel format. So when you give an Excel format, when I leave these two, the report header and page footer, when I leave it open, you have a whole huge space in the Excel documents that wouldn't present the document better. So we preferred hiding it. And then I've arranged and I've aligned everything to the corner. The red color, you see these pointings here, these are called the grid lines. Grid lines is where it positions your data. So if this overlaps into this, the data is again messed. So you can arrange all this. And then again, the tools used here, you see, it's the alignment tools here. And then you can add the dollar symbol here. This button is a refresh button. Say if I deal with massive amount of data, like sometimes my data goes to more than 40,000 reports. When I use this refresh button, it keeps refreshing, though it makes the computer run slow, but still the refresh button is used for that. And then you have the um, sorting option here. This is the filter option. So when I say what filter option is like, you can add and delete whatever you need in there. So when I use the filter option, I would tell, okay, fine. Say for example, if I'm dealing with the dates, some of the clients comes and asks us, okay, fine, I want the information from past July 5th to August 31st. So some clients give us the date specific. So when I use the filter field, so with the placement date, whenever the patient has been admitted in the in the hospital, with that particular date format, I can arrange the filters there, and then that particular amount of data alone, I would be getting it. And then I can more filter it with which particular client needs it. So my database, it normally pulls, if I say have 10 different hospitals, and then if I put this particular date from July 5th to August 31st, all the patients with 10 different hospitals, all the data will be presented for me here in the Crystal report. But with the help of the filter option, I tell which company. So normally we differentiate each hospital clients with the client number. So I put in that client number in there, and then it gives me that particular client, and that's what the client requires. And then you use pie chart and bar graph and all that. That's about Crystal, and this is how your report looks like. And then you save the report into the automation process. You save it to the CR server, to the Crystal server, or to your desktop, according to whatever you permit. And then this is how the formula field looks like. I'm going to show you another screenshot in the end. This is how the formula field looks like. So one of the beauty about Crystal reports is that you use formula field wherein you can create your own formulas. Say, for example, I'm going to show you an example. Say date fields, when we receive the file here in the United States, in India, we write the dates in the beginning, you put the date, month, and year. Here, it's like the month, date, and the year. So, but sometimes when we receive the file from the clients, it would be the date would be in the beginning, the month would be in the last, or sometimes the year will be in the beginning. It varies on what the client wants. So at that point of time, but when we have created our database using the IBM tools, we would have had one standard format wherein we put the month in the beginning, date, and then the year. Let's say if the client requires, if it's a single digit date, some of the client will ask, you want a 0 in front of 9 or an 8. So we can create a formula. This is the creation wizard for the formula field. So this is another example. This is the Crystal syntax. But the beauty of, again, Crystal uses both SQL syntax and Crystal syntax. So this is Crystal syntax I've used here. So this CACCT, and this is my table name, and this is the field which I've used. So the table digit with 8 digits example. So it'll be the year, 1959 would be the year, month, and year, date. So this line checks the minimum value will work if input is greater than 1959-0101, then date. I mean, it's again the if then else statement. So mostly we play with if then else statement and number var and values here. So here, if you can see, 1 to 4, 5 to 6, 7 to 8. 1 to 4 will be the year defined here. 7 and 8 will be the month. Sorry, 5 and 6 will be the month, and then will be the date. This is how you can create your own formulas. That's the beauty of formula field here. And then this is how another crystal report looks like. Here in the corner, I don't know if you are able to see the formula field here. That's where you create the formula, click new, and then you put your formula heading in there. And this is how the links look like. Sorry. The links look like in this. When we use that, these are all the tables here, and then we join the link, how you use the DBMS, that's how you link it. And I normally prefer using the inner join, outer join, and all that. So if you are interested in learning Crystal, all you have to is just install Crystal in your computer, and you have a 30-day trial period when you can buy the license, and then you can use it for free for 30 days. And then if you are interested, you can continue it, else you can discard it. So it's worth learning Crystal reports. So this is how the table looks like, and then you join them with inner join, whatever you want to. This is how the links look like. And then again, this is the formula field. This is how you can save and close, and then you have the Crystal syntax and all that. I just wanted to show you a glimpse of how the formula field looks like. And then this is where we use the bar graph and all that. So once I save the report is being saved into my Crystal server. And then I use the SAP Business Objects, the BI tool. The BI tool is where I use it for automation purposes. So once you buy the SAP Crystal reports, you get this automation tool along with it. And then with the administrator password and the users, how many ever the administrator wants to give you access to, you can have user ID and password to it. So again, it helps you to automate the tools, because the client tells us, some of the clients requires us to give the reports on weekly basis and monthly basis. So with this tool, I automate. So once I save my report in the Crystal server, I open this BI to business objects, and then I put in my ID and password, I log in, and then it takes you to this home screen. This is how it looks like. I wish I would show more, but I'm not authorized. And then you click here, you have the CFC home, and then you have the automation process and all that. And then you click here, and then you look for the file name wherein you have saved your report, and then you automate it. So the beauty again here is you have options here. So what options when I say is like, either if the client wants the report to be delivered to their email ID, you have that option as well. Or if they prefer, you can put the file in their FTP server. So based, again, we deal with customer information and large amount of data. The security is very important, because according to the HIPAA law, here HIPAA law means that only if I'm patient, only me, I can only access my information. If somebody is calling me regarding the information, only I can answer the phone. It doesn't mean my husband or my father can answer the phone call or give information about me, unless and until I authorize them. Okay, fine, you can talk to them on my behalf. I should authorize them in the written statement. That is what HIPAA is all about. So when it comes to the HIPAA law, when we transfer the files, it has to be very secure. So we prefer the company's FTP server and the client's FTP server. So this automation tool, it has the option of putting it in the FTP server as well. So once the report is generated, and it gets automated and it gets stored there. So for the automation process, for the process to pull the data, we normally use VB script to write the scripting into it. That's it. And then my reports are ready, and then the clients are okay with the report. So my presentation is over here. And one more thing, and I wanted you to look how a CSV file looks like. This is again a notepad wherein all the data is being separated by a comma delimited file. So previously I showed you how a pipe delimited file looks like, and now this is how a comma delimited file looks like. So this is how it is. This is again a pipe delimited format. Thank you so much. You guys have any questions?
And participants will have any queries to be asked? Okay, then we can wind up the session.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for giving me this opportunity. And I hope all the participants, I think you all made use of your time. Hope it was not a boring one.
Okay. On behalf of Department of Computer Science and Engineering and Karpagam College of Engineering, I would like to thank Sangeetha Rajan for accepting our invitation to deliver a lecture for this 5 days international FTP.
Thank you so much, sir.
A special thanks to Sonia Jennifer Ryan, who referred the today's speaker Sangeetha Rajan. And apart from these 5 days, whatever the tools you have learned or whatever the tools available in the market, just I want to attach a few glimpses of tool. If you want to make a note, you can make a note for using of data analytics. We have a good tool like Power BI, Tableau, HubSpot, RapidMiner, Orange, OpenRefine, TensorFlow, NoSQL, Hadoop, Data Robot, Trifecta, Kubernetes. So these are the tools which is available in the market, where you can able to explore much more so that it will be benefited for you. And here most of the faculty members you are here, the doctorates you would have been used the tool like Excel. So Excel you would have not been you would have not been dive into much more, but there are many more things to learn, and there is no end. You try to have any one of the tool and you try to transfer your knowledge to your students, and few students are over here, and students also you try to adapt a tool or you try to learn one among the tool and you become the master in that. Because if you go for a data analytics, we are not having a single, without by using a single tool we cannot able to survive in the industry. At least if you know a couple of tools, then it will be somewhat benefited to you. And let us wind up this session. And your certificates, it will be disclosed within 5 working days. Most probably by Monday you can expect your certificate, and we will be considering only the 50% of the attendance. You try to fill your feedback form, which it has been shared over here, and the presentation it will be shared to you. If any queries, you can ask me the queries individually, not in the group. Thank you for the participants, and thank you for the Sangeetha Rajan to handling this session. Thank you for everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.